Hello farmers and welcome back to Goldcrest Valley. Just in here checking on the chickens. I'm actually looking for Ronnie the Rooster. Oh, there he is. There's Ronnie the Rooster. Having fun in here with all these lovely ladies who have been making plenty and plenty of eggs. But yeah, we don't sell those until November. I was just checking on to make sure that they got room for eggs to spawn because I woke up in the month of April and the sheep have filled up their spawn points. I had to go up there and take care of that. And speaking of taking care of the wool, it is time to sell the wool as well. If we check the stock market page here, we can see the wool is going for $12.32, which is higher than last year. It always tells me May, but it always seems like we're selling the wool in April at the bale sell point. So let's go ahead and grab. Well, before we go ahead and grab the Volvo in our little boy trailer to auto load the wool pallets on up, I gotta move the 8230 so I can get the See and Spot weed sprayer out for the Massey Ferguson, because we're gonna be spraying weeds later on today, especially right here in the oat field. Get that field taken care of. So yeah, it is just past noon in April because it rained all morning and there's more rain in the forecast, but not until 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I got time to get some work done. And it's going to be kind of a busy April. I got some plans that we're going to go over here in just a moment. So let me back up to here and we'll get this on. Do I need to fill this up? Probably not. I think that's going to be just fine the way it is. Let me get this set up. So once again, just going over the weeds in this field here. After harvest last season, I experimented with precision farming and the weeds. So weeds grew after harvesting, and we sprayed this part of the field to get rid of the weeds. But as we can see, after that, so with precision farming at least, spraying for weeds, might as well wait until after you plant your crop on in. All right, let's get the Volvo now and our little boy, and we'll go sell all that wool. Going to have tons and tons of cash coming on in. We are just shy of $450,000, so this should put us up over $550,000. As for the store, nothing in the store that we're looking for. So, you know, nothing to go over there. I mean, I'll show you what's there. It's nothing pretty much at all. The roller's still there. And we got a cornflower / sunflower header. And actually, we already own one of those. So, we are good. We're fine with that. We don't need that. But thank you very much. I still have the lime spreader and the water tank for the sheep. That is still leased. So I got 2 items leased currently. Now, the alfalfa and clover fields are ready for harvest today, I believe. But our grass field, the one grass field that we got now, is not going to be ready for a couple of months. So I'm going to wait until that grass field is ready. The alfalfa and clover field are not going to, you know, it's not going to hurt them at all waiting a couple more months. Now, speaking of at least the alfalfa field, which is the smaller field, once we harvest that this year, we're going to go ahead and sell that small little farmland. It's just too small for me to take care of, which is kind of weird because it's like one of the first fields that we bought. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and sell that one just because it's just way too small. And same can be said for a field that we're going to sell, which is down by Main Street, the smaller field. You probably don't know which one I'm talking about. But we'll sell that after harvest this year. So we're going to sell those 2 fields. But we are going to add a field and probably going to add it here pretty darn soon. But let's go ahead and load up as much as the wool as we can. Yeah, the sheep are just producing so much wool. And we've been selling the sheep too as well as we go along, which I have not checked yet here for April. So we may have some sheep to sell. If they're worth $1,000, they are being sold. These can't double stack? Of course not. Well, that's fine. Let's go get rid of this first load. It may take a couple loads, but we'll get them all down there. I think technically I can drive through this clover and it won't destroy it because it's, like I said, it's like, should be like grass. Let me just do a little test here. So when it's ready for harvest, yeah, we can drive through that. There's no crop destruction on the clover and alfalfa. But I will drive around it because it just seems like the right thing to do. See, no train from that way, no train from behind us. Not the best way to go over the ramp, but that's the way we went over it. So, and we're just selling it right here. Remember the days when I was bringing them down on the forklift that we bought, which I really haven't used hardly at all anymore, but we still have it. Trying to figure out the best way to. This is not the best way to back up. I was going to back up between those two trees, and I thought that's probably not the best way to approach that. And normally in this series I would be using the Massey Ferguson to load up the pallets, but for some reason this auto-loading trailer, even though I have it turned off, it will take the first pallet anyway. So a lot of people got frustrated watching me trying to load them before. At least I was with the eggs, so everyone seems happy or fine with me auto-loading these pallets here. All right, let's go grab some of these, get them out of our way. And you know what? Since you guys are happy with that and kind of save us a little bit of time, yep, see, it's not going to let me do that. Takes it right out of my hand. Yep, just takes it right out of my hand. That's not me trying to place it on here. Just takes it right out of my hand. So, all right, we'll just take a few trips here, back and forth. Let me get a few more trips done. I think we got about 24 grand for one load. And as you can see, I probably got at least 2 more after this one. But as we saw, we got over $100,000 worth of wool to sell today. And it should easily put us up over $550 in the bank account, which is way better than I thought we'd ever do here. But we're going to be there very shortly. Well, doing better than I thought. We're at 561, and we still got maybe a half a load ready to go. See how much I can grab from here. Not all of it. All right, let me give that a little bit of a push. Oop. A little bit closer. There we go. And while we are here, let's go ahead and check on the sheep. What do we got? We got any sheep worth 1,000 today? Any of them at all? I mean, we got a couple. I see a lot of 975, so we'll have some next month. But none this month. And that's fine. Let's load up the rest of those. And for some reason, when a pallet is too close to the autoloader, it won't grab it. And let's grab the other one as well. There we go. Actually, it's more than a half a load, so that's pretty darn good. And off we go. Last load of wool. Sheep have definitely repaid for themselves at this point. I have yet to get hit by the train today. A couple of close calls. It seems like every time I pass here, though, one of the trains is coming on through. Yeah. Always. It's one or the other. Oh, I got hit by the train there. I didn't count the right amount of cars going by. I'm in a hurry. The rain's coming. I got to get some work done today. Perfect. Look at that. 581. That is very nice. And we're going to spend quite a bit of it right now. Yeah, so as I mentioned, we are going to sell the alfalfa field when we harvest it in a couple months. And also this field down here that's got soybean into it, field number 21, after harvest, we'll sell that one as well. It's just too small for what the equipment that we're running currently. So with the amount of money we got, field number 5, the biggest field on the map. It does go for $428,400. We are buying it right now. There we go. We own the biggest field on the map. That's going to do pretty good. Now, there's already wheat in this field, and it's in the first growth stage. So I can get in there with, I got at least a soil sampler, and that is why I kept the lime spreader overnight, because I'm going to put lime into that field as well. But I'm not going to take care of the field right away. We will get to it this month, not this episode, but we'll get to it this month. I got other projects I need to get to, and first and foremost, I need to enter this vehicle right here, the T9. We got our planter ready to go, and I want to go ahead and plant some corn. So let's get started. The trees! The trees have sprouted, finally. The trees have matured, unlike myself, but the trees have matured. Now, they're not fully grown, at least they shouldn't be. I even forgot what we planted down here. Maple trees. Oh, that's right, maple trees because of Maplefield Village. That makes perfect sense why I did that. Been a while since we planted those trees, but finally they have grown. All right, let's go ahead and lower this down here. Turn that on. Now, of course, the T9 is, too big of a tractor for the drill that we got. But we're going to use it anyways because we can. Because we can. So after buying that field, we still have $152,000 in the bank account. Now, if you're wondering, well, Pina, what happens if that forage harvester comes up for sale? You may not have the money to buy it because you're going to want it to do corn chaff this year. Well, a couple of things we can do. We still got the 9RT. We also got the 8230, both John Deere tractors. I could sell those. In a month or two, I think it's June, we got corn and soybean that we can sell. So we're going to be bringing in the money. The power plant, the power plant's going to bring in some cash. I mean, that does bring in about 24 grand a month. Not a whole lot, but it does add up. So there is that. So we got money sitting around. I can go ahead and sell stuff and buy anything that comes up used that we need to. So I'm not too concerned about that, and that's why we bought the big wheat field. And now with the big wheat field, it's a wheat field now, but the big field, we'll be able to harvest that this year, and we should be able to, since, like I said, the crop is in the first growth stage, we should be able to get in there and make sure, it's perfectly limed, fertilized, and ready to go. Now, I did double check, the field does not need to be plowed, so that's going to help us on out. And I will have to take care of weeds, I'm sure, in it also. All right, so the first pass is done for corn. Yeah, this T9 New Holland tractor is definitely overpowering for this planter, but it's fine. So, of course, with bigger fields, we could use bigger... we've been wanting bigger equipment anyways. The Avatar drill that we've been leasing the last couple of seasons, we all know I would love to get my hands on that in this series. As for a planter, I don't mind this planter. A bigger one would be good, but then again, I would like the direct drill planters. And I think after this one, they get rather huge, kind of like what I'm using on Oceanside Forest. And I'm perfectly fine with this drill here, planter, sorry. There is a difference between a planter and a drill. But yeah, I'm perfectly fine with this. It's not going to take me too long to get this field planted. It will be good to go. The only thing I have to do, though, and I had to go up to the store to buy it, I can refill the seed at our seed hut, but I cannot do the liquid fertilizer for some reason. I'm not too sure why. I tried a couple times to get it in the trigger and lined up right, but it just doesn't want to fill up. So I gotta fill it up with a pallet of liquid fertilizer. But small problems. That's all it is small problems. What's kind of weird? That field in front of me keeps changing the state that it's in. So since I logged on, I saw the field the way it is now. Now when I brought the T9 down, while it was raining this morning, that field had weeds back into it and it had lime spread into it. And now that I'm back down here again, the field looks like it's been planted. I'm not too sure what's going on with that field over there, but not my field, not my concern, I guess. So it should be rather fun getting a forage harvest off this field this fall. I'm going to guess maybe 500,000 liters of corn chaff off this field. Everything will go up to the BGA, and of course we'll compact it up there, cover it up, let it ferment into silage, and we'll sell it during the fall. The winter. I don't think I'm going to be doing anything more with the BGA as for silage. The manure and the slurry that we have, I'll probably bring that up there at some point and get that processed through the BGA. Not really concerned about the power plant anymore. Honestly, when that runs out of methane, or if it does run out of methane, and I actually go burn all the way through that transmission or transformer oil, sorry, I may even sell it. It's just not producing the way I would like it to. We will have made money off of it, and I'm pretty sure when I sell it, I think I'll get half the money I paid for it. I don't want to say it was only 100 grand, but at that time, 100 grand for me was a lot. So I should get like $50,000 back, and I easily will have gotten my money back on the amount of power that we sold by then. I mean, we haven't put methane in that since last fall, and I still think that's got a good amount of methane left into it. Actually, let's have a quick look to see how it's doing. I mean, I think we're at 121,000 liters of methane that was in there last fall, and I've only burned through about 30,000 liters of it. So that's gonna burn that methane for a long time. So I really don't need to produce more methane for the power plant. But if I bring manure up there and slurry up there, we will be making methane. But that's fine. I can always put the BGA on storing methane, and if we ever do get a tanker, we can go ahead and just sell the methane and make some money off of it that way. Although, from the math that we did not long ago, that's why I'm not doing the silage in the BGA anymore. I actually make more money from silage than bring it to the BGA and get it processed into methane. I make a lot more money just selling the silage in the wintertime, so yeah. That's what you learn about production buildings. Sometimes production buildings are not quite worth it. Kind of like on hinterland, as we found out with the coffee beans. We got more money from raw coffee beans than bringing them to the roaster and roasting coffee beans. So why would I even want to roast them? I think I'm the one that got roasted on that one, but that's fine. So it is nice to see these maple trees growing down here. They look so much better than the, were they stone pines or just regular pines that were down here originally? Yeah, you can see in the field in front of us, they got the pine trees between the field and the road. I think the maple trees are a better fit, but that's just me. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to go up and refill, buy another pallet of liquid fertilizer. I don't think there's much more left in that one up at the store. So I'll have to go back up there and refill it because I'm already below 50%. I'm actually closer to 40%. So I may actually have to go up there a couple of times. But at least this field will be in very good condition when it comes time to harvest for corn chaff. I should be able to finish the field with the amount of seed and fertilizer that we have. Seed was never a question, but I have gone up to the store to refill from fertilizer pallets a couple of times. But I should have enough to finish what we got here. And then I think instead of spraying the weeds in the oat field at the main farm, I think I'm going to go ahead and we're going to lease the soil sampler and get up to the big field today. Get the soil samples, and then we can start taking care of the weeds up there. And that way, if I start getting it done early, I can then get a worker to spread lime in that field while I'm taking care of the weeds next time. At least that's my plan. I only got about a couple more hours before the rain hits again. Technically, I could do all the work that we're doing in the rain, and it's not going to hurt us at all. The only time it hurts us when it rains is when we're harvesting. But other than that, you can drill, you can spread fertilizer, lime, all that kind of stuff in the rain, and not affect you whatsoever in Farming Simulator 22. It's the way it works. In real life, you probably wouldn't want to do most of those things while it's raining. All right, one more pass and our cornfield will be complete. But we will have to come back into here next month or so and spray to get rid of all the weeds. And we are complete. One thing I am going to have to do at some point in between episodes is I'm just parking all my equipment on the side of the fields right now. I need to go around and collect everything and put things back where they kind of should be. Wait for that to fold all the way up. There we go. Let's go to the store. Yeah, I've been buying stuff there. Just 2 things leased. Yeah, just 2 things leased, so we're fine. Let's go on down here. And the soil sampler, you know what we're going to be doing. I think we're just going to lease this one again. Yes, lease it. And now we'll grab the Massey Ferguson. Actually, you know what? Silage, I should turn that off so I'm not paying for that to go on through. I don't know if it charges you when there's nothing there for it to go through. All right, you know what? Since I already got this spread out, I'm not going to do the entire field. I'm just going to do one pass on the way up through. But then I'm going to go to the store, grab the soil sampler, and we'll head up to the new field, the big wheat field, and we'll go ahead and take some soil samples into it. We'll see how fast the crop rotation. I think we saw quickly it was like at 74%, I think is what it's going to be at when we look at it. So we'll get some soil sampling done and see how good the soil is up there. Fingers crossed that it's pretty darn good soil. Not the greatest view looking out the Massey Ferguson with the front end loader on the front along with the soil sampler, but it's what you got to do. And the back is rather busy with the See and Spot sprayer on it. And this should be our road up to our field. Don't think I've actually been on this part of the road yet. At least not through this series. In FS17 I was. And our farm is just over there. That's the road to our farm. Let's go ahead and get some readings of some soils, shall we? 35. I'm doing 32, so I'm safe. No speeding tickets for me. Where do I access this field, though? That's the question I don't remember. I guess right here would be the best spot. Now, let's see. I got to get in the soil sampler. Unfold that. Is that going to be in the way? No, it looks like it just barely missed it. Let's lower that on down. And, of course, get the map on out. Ooh, okay, I went with the... Okay, this is a little bit bigger than I'd used last time. So, in the field currently, expected yield is 79%. Crop rotation said it was follow and follow, and now it's got wheat into it. So, the crop rotation should be pretty darn good, which it is at 115%. I'm pretty sure this field hasn't been follow the last couple of years, but that's not for me to judge. And by the way, I shouldn't be destroying the crop, right? Because it's in the first growth stage. Plus, we do still have the narrow tires on the Massey Ferguson. So, with this soil sampler, it might be just 4 samples that I'm grabbing. Right there would be good. If I gotta do more than 4, not that big of a deal. But it needs to be done. Yeah, the only thing I do remember about this field from FS17 is one of the first big contracts I ever did of sugar beet, and it took me forever with the base game stuff, but I think I got paid like 120,000 or something like that. Which back then I thought that was a huge thing. And now if I were to see that contract come up here, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not doing it with the base game stuff. Take this a little bit too long for me. Alright, try to get this corner just right. That looks good. Now we'll turn around here and go this way. And right there, looks good. Sample. All right, so I probably have to drop off the See and Spot sprayer back there. There we go. Now I should be able to send in the soil samples. There we go. The samples are now sent to laboratory. Perfect. Let's go into here and lease items. And we can now return that. I can get rid of the map as well. We don't need that. Hitch back up to our See and Spot sprayer. Our samples are in. Perfect. Alright, so the soil, nitrogen's bad. pH value is bad, so it needs nitrogen as well. Well, we can take care of that later on. Let me go ahead and get out of... Well, not out of the cab, but out of cab mode. Wait, are there weeds here? There might be no weeds here. Hang on a second. I'm looking around, and I really don't see no weeds here. Alright, so there are no weeds here. I don't need to spray for weeds. Perfect. One less job I have to do. Although I will technically spray quickly, because with precision farming, it's kind of weird how it works, but if I scroll on in, yeah, it hasn't been sprayed for weeds at all. Which one's the weeds? Weeds is the third one. Yep. So I just got to quickly do this, which is kind of weird. But it's how it works. And now if I come in here, the score now magically jumps up to 72, and the third bar is satisfied. Alright, let me fold this back on up, and, well, since I'm not spraying weeds here, we'll go back and we'll do the whole field again. Well, I say again. That's my original plan. But at least we got the soil sampling done. I don't have to spray for weeds, but it will need lime and fertilizer. Won't take me too long to get that done, especially with a fertilizer spreader, having to working with the 42 meters. The lime spreader can do that while we're taking care of weeds next time. So we'll get that wheat field up and going, and then we'll have another look and see what the expected yield will be off the field once we get done with those two. But I think it's going to be up over 100%, which is nice. And maybe when it comes time to harvest that field this fall, or late summer, we may end up leasing the grain trailer again for the Volvo if we don't already have it. If it doesn't come up for sale by then. Just because we're going to get a lot of crop off that field, and with our, what is it, 24,000 liter capacity grain trailer that we currently have, that will take quite a few trips back and forth. Alright, let's take care of the weeds in our oat field. But I know I did say a while back I didn't want to buy any more fields, that we were kind of set with the fields that we had. But just with that much money in the bank account, and then I started thinking, you know, I'm kind of over of working these smaller fields, like the alfalfa field and the soybean field that I showed you, and I said, let's just go ahead and sell those. I'm like, well, if I sell those, you know, and a few people did want to see us buy the big field, so I was like, you know, let's go ahead and buy that field. We'll have the cash after we sell the wool. And of course, that'll just help us bring in more cash. Not that I need that much more cash at this point. Yeah, there are some things that, of course, we do want to buy. We've been over those. But the thing is, if they don't come up for sale, I can't buy them. So, yeah, that's why I'm sitting there on the $500,000. I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and spend it. Let's get ourselves a big field and start getting some money off of that field. And when I saw wheat was in there, I'm like, well, you know, wheat's not the best crop, but it is a decent crop. You're going to get a good yield. We'll sell the crop in the fall, and of course we'll get straw and a good amount of straw off that field. So we'll make money off of that as well. It will be a long harvest. When I mean a long harvest, probably take me 45 minutes to probably harvest that field, somewhere around there. This field seems to have a lot of weeds into it. I don't know how you can reduce the amount of weeds that you get in a field. I know sometimes fields don't have as much weeds, and then sometimes it seems to be an abundant amount of weeds in there. Maybe if I plow the field, it would get rid of the weeds. How much up here? Not that it matters that much, but sometimes I'm just curious on how the game works. Oops, I did not get this little section back here. Let me back up. There we go. It should be all good. And just one more pass and this oat field will be all set until harvest time. Gonna have a good amount of straw this year. But luckily, with our baler and baling trailer, we'll make some quick work out of it. Just got to make sure I remember to put my worker on behind the harvester with the baler, so we don't have to go around and pick up the make bales afterwards. Oh, speaking of bales, I need to remember, as we are done spraying for weeds, I think the moo-moos, the cows, need some attention. You know, they're okay. I mean, they need some straw, and they do need some feed. Oh yeah, do we have, where are the cows worth? Do they have reproduction? They did. Probably should sell these 4 cows here. Their value is not going to get that much higher, and they just reproduce. So, yeah, let me go ahead. Let me get this Massey Ferguson off this field first of all. Don't want that sitting on the crops too long. But when I go down and spray for weeds with a Massey Ferguson and the front end loader, I'll have to take care of the cows, give them some straw and some hay. Let's teleport on down to here. Good morning. Actually, it's afternoon. Never mind. Good afternoon, ladies. All right, so here we go. Yep. Whoop, these here. Just to make sure I'm on the correct ones. Should be. And sell those. And these right here. Some Angus cows. And sell those. There we go. So, yeah, we're making a little bit of money off the cows. Like I said, the cows are just here just to give us another project to do, and of course we will make a little bit of money off of them. I can't remember how many cows we ended up buying to begin with, but you know, they're reproducing, so that's all that matters, and we're selling the ones that we originally had, and we'll definitely make 100% profit on the cows that have been born here on the farm. But speaking of profits, we should get a lot more profit off our wheat field this year, or the new wheat field, so we'll see how that pans out for us. This lovely little field right up here. Yeah, so next episode, spread some lime, fertilizer in that field, and I got to spray for weeds, as you can see in all these fields down here. So, going to be kind of a busy day of just spraying everywhere. As for the alfalfa and clover fields, we got to wait for this grass field here behind us. And that way we can mow them all together, and that way I'll release the mower only once. This grass is, for April, is only in the first really growth stage. Because we mowed it in November. So March it would be dormant, and then April it's growing. So next month technically it'd be ready for harvest, but we're going to go ahead and wait until the grass is at full height and get full potential out of it. And we're just making hay off of this grass field, no silage. So that's going to be a widespread cut. Ted it, windrow it, and we'll stack up some hay bales here along with it. But anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching. As always, I'll catch you again right here in Goldcrest Valley. But until then, have a good one.